I always describe to people the way a joke works. There's a structure to a joke. What is it? It's very similar to a roller coaster. How does a roller coaster work? The engineers of the roller coaster are telling you a story.
That was so Jewish. How does the roller coaster work? I'm just saying.
It is.
So how does the roller coaster work?
It's going this way. It's going this. So your brain and body adjust.
Yeah.
That, like I'm going up a thing or whatever, and then at the last second, it does a twist and a whirl, and you're not expecting it, and that like triggers the sensors in your brain to tell you to be excited, and that's the whole phenomenon of a roller coaster. A joke in many ways is very similar to that. You're telling the audience a story. So like my first joke ever I told on stage was about like how I'm wearing a yarmulke, I'm on stage, and it wasn't a fully Jewish audience. They know like I'm obviously an Orthodox Jew, and I'm telling like I just moved in with this girl. And it's like, you moved in with a girl? I'm like, first time in my life I moved in with a girl, and we're fighting nonstop, and like we loved each other before I moved in, but then like I moved in, and like now we just hate each other, and all my friends are just saying like, you gotta drop this girl, like move on, like she's not good for you. And I'm like, listen, like we fight a lot, but like my mom's been a big part of my life for like so what's the joke there is that I was telling a story and then I took their brain in a whole different direction, like, oh, it's not his girlfriend, it's his mom. That is like the most basic, like,
who you are having an actual relationship with. It's Jerry Springer style. You could go even darker. That's what I would say. Hey.
Yeah, that would be the marketing.
No, 100
like button on it.
and yeah. So that's the
So
tension and release. It's music.
Right. My point is, if the audience knows the my point is if the audience, what's tension and release?
Musically, it's the same thing. Music is about building tension, dissonance, and consonance. Like you're building tension and then you resolve.
Like the drop of like a beat.
Not quite, in a sense. I mean, that's in a very exaggerated way, but all music functions between tension and like whatchamacallit, like consonance and dissonance, like between building tension and then you're grooving.
Can you, I'm not a serious question.
Yes.
Can you give an example musically of how that would sound?
But you understand what I'm saying before you do, on a comedic level, if you heard the story enough times, then it doesn't trigger your brain.
The guitar. Yeah.
It no longer
Second one in, yeah.
it no longer will trigger your brain in the same way to have that reaction to the joke.
Watch the camera without breaking it. I'll show you what I mean. I will say.
But you're telling me music's exactly the same way.
It is a different. It's a sibling to comedy. It's in the same family. It's a different person.
Right.
Has different qualities.
It's
but
a
it
cousin,
functions.
but like if we were in the South, they would marry each other.
But if we were, there are different things. But the point is like, home, stable, right? This is sort of where we're at. We're establishing the premise. Then we're going somewhere. And then what's going on?
That's the tension.
And you're kind of saying, what's happening here? And then you punch and hit if it lands. You know what I mean? So I look at it.
So it is tripping the brain. I just don't realize it.
What's a pop song they do that on?
Give me a song.
Bruno Mars song.
Just do like Uptown Funk.
Uptown Funk.
Is that a bad example? I don't know music.
A country song.
Live Like You Were Dying. You know that country song?
What?
You know the country song Live Like You Were Dying?
Live like no. Live like we're dying. I'm thinking of
Tim McGraw. It's a different song.
Taylor Swift song.
Who?
Taylor Swift song.
Who's that? I found out about that with the beach.
I'm trying to think. Like, what I mean is like when you're telling the joke. Watch. I'll just play it and give me a joke. One of your jokes.
The mom joke.
The mom joke, right?
Okay.
Be like, oh, terrible. Hold on.
This is like a sign language person, but for
I never understood why musicians need 11 guitars, by the way.
Each one serves a different purpose.
I know. That's what they always say. Bullshit.
It's like
This is fun.
This is fun. This is a challenge for musicians. You never have to tune in comedy.
That's true.
Um,
Can you imagine if
check it
a
out.
comedian was just like, wait, can I try that punchline a little differently? You guys will love it this time.
So I just moved in with this girl. It's going really well. But now we're just like fighting all the time. It's not really working out, and I don't really know what's going to happen. And it's like, everyone's like, yo, you got to get rid of her. But I can't get rid of her. I love her so much. I don't know what to do. And I'm like, listen, guys. My mom's a great girl.
Now that you do it with it, I understand. Because Dimitri Martin does that with his jokes.
That's
he plays
great,
guitar.
man. That
You
was
see what I just
awesome.
demonstrated?
Yeah.
I was kind of moving along. Then it got sad. And then you could say, my mom's a great girl. I leave it hanging. but I still think I should date her. Oh my God. And then instead of going home, I kind of, but I still think I should date her. Oh God. What?
Anthony Jeselnik. How would you play an Anthony Jeselnik joke?
Every one of Anthony Jeselnik,
They go,
every one of his jokes is exactly the same. Though.
Tuning on a podcast.
They go like this and then that.
Right.
Right. It's
and even when you're expecting the turn, it's much sharper.
And
than
it
you're
always
anticipating.
Anthony Jeselnik's
right.
would always probably end on like like a bit of a dissonant. You know what I mean?
He actually has a joke like that, similar
Anthony
joke. I don't know if you know
Jeselnik.
the one about why his girlfriend's not religious anymore.
How does it go?
About the crucifix.
No, how does it go?
So basically, he says like, my girlfriend has a crazy story why she lost her faith. She used to be totally religious. She grew up in this very Catholic home to the point that her parents put this massive crucifix above her bed. And then the reason she's not religious anymore, one night in the middle of the night while she was sleeping, the crucifix fell and left an 8-inch gash in the back of her dad's neck.
Yeah, I knew that was
Oh God. So his jokes are always dark, I'd always go, and then one day, they're always, like a little bit like
a little more nasal.
I don't have a, and then his dad one day came in.
Dad came in one day.
I don't really know. I don't know how to. I wouldn't necessarily know how to script, but the whole point is, tension and release works the same way functionally for comedy. For music, you're building, and then sometimes I find like Mark Norman, for example, stylistically is sort of like the way. All right, as long as it's not in the shit, that's fine. There are some comedic styles that are more like funk fusion, where it's super syncopated.
Yeah, there are also styles of comedy that have no.
And it's super. I was thinking about it watching him on your show. I'm like, oh wow, his comedy. Remember when you talked about how Giannis Pappas and Louis, they get up and they riff on premises, and he was like, yeah, I don't know how you would do that because his stuff is so precise. So like when you watch like a funk band where every single hit is worked out and rehearsed, everybody knows exactly what they're doing when there's precision, and it's cool, and the audience grooves. And then you have jam bands,
right?
Fish, and people get up there with a premise, with a key that they're in. Everybody's locked into a groove, but what's gonna happen is kind of playful and loose.
Interesting.
And both are music, and both are legit, and the audience can get down with both. And then Seinfeld is like a classical orchestra where every note, everything has been perfectly fine-tuned and crafted, and he's talked about it, how the bits are the orchestra in front of him and he plays it, and Norman's closer to that field where it's like,
right. Well, Norman can't do anything because he has so much anxiety,
and he says, I just fill it with punchlines because I'm scared of silence. I don't want to feel anything. He's talked about that.
Yeah.
But the point is, like, if you watch it, then he'll tag this, tag that. Ooh, It reminds me of funk music where it's like
Norman has
super precise.
Yeah, can you talk about you? So you guys just interviewed Mark Norman. He's like on the rise, probably top rising comic right now.
I don't even say on the rise anymore. Like the guy is
well,
there.
I'm saying he's on the rise to like major mainstream.